Hi, my name is Solomon. I want to learn as much as I can from the Nebula Academy and possibly in the future become a network admin or launch a business of some sort.
Nice to meet you, Solomon. Who's next?
Hi, nice to meet you. I'm Kaya. I don't
Hi.
really have much to say, but I'm looking forward to hearing you talk. So,
Awesome.
yep.
Hi,
How
my
you
name
doing?
is Debbie. My name is Deborah.
Hi.
Hi, nice to meet you. Always exciting to have a guest speaker talking to us and, give us a lot of, encouragements and telling us how the technology world is out there. We really appreciate that, and I'm looking forward to learn a lot from you today.
Nice to meet you.
Go ahead, Spencer.
How you doing, name's Spencer? Nice to meet you. Can't wait to learn some good knowledge and to just be able to absorb that.
Nice to meet you. Anybody else? Come on, you guys. It's
Hi,
still
I'm
like
Desmond.
Friday, guys. Come on, we gotta have some energy going.
Hi, I'm Desmond. I'm happy it's Friday. It is wonderful to meet you. I want to be a software engineer like my fellow classmates and move forward in our endeavors.
Awesome. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well.
Nice to meet you, LaShana. Name is Ronald. Looking forward to hearing what you got to say.
Awesome, Ron.
Nat, nice to meet you. I'm just excited to hear as well.
Patrick looks really unimpressed over here.
Oh, sorry. Hi, LaShawna. I didn't know when because I'm seeing it's like no list. I'm wondering where should I go. It's like you're running track and I'm waiting for somebody to toss me the baton. Hi, LaShawna. My name's Patrick. Yeah, it's been kind of a long week, but I'm very excited to listen and know what you work for and what have you done and everything about you.
Wonderful.
I guess that leaves me. How you doing? My name is George. Everybody calls me Gio. Excited to see what you're gonna talk about.
Awesome. Well, I'm just super excited that you guys look more like me. So that's you guys are my dream for our industry. So I want to say that. So I commend you all. Welcome to the industry. Thank you for joining me. I'm LaShana Breland, as you guys know. I am on the board for Long Island Women in Tech, like Lori mentioned. We do a lot of outreach with kids to get them introduced to STEM and technologies like that. I particularly work with we do a summer camp. We work with another organization that runs a summer camp, and I go and I do guest speaking, and we've had brought in teachers to kind of introduce kids to coding, and just kind of bring more people that look like us into that space. Professionally, I am a Salesforce administrator / developer, as well as a front end developer in my own like side business. So I have a regular job, and I still get to like build projects and apps and websites and all the stuff that you guys are learning how to do right now. So I'm super inspired just to be able to be here for you guys today. Were there any? Is there like a list of questions that maybe I can talk about, or am I just supposed to like regurgitate my life story?
Yeah, so it's up to you. It's like I think they want, yeah, most of the guest speakers come in, just kind of share their story of how they got there and why they chose their path, what struggles they had along the way, and what advice they would give to the students, and then we kind of open it up for questions.
Okay, cool.
Posted the website that you're on, the Long Island Women in Tech.com. You're on it. I posted it in our chat.
Awesome. So yeah, you guys can read about me. There's a blog post that was written I think a year ago, or like when we do like we feature some of our members, and I was featured, so you'll probably find an old one for me if you want to read about me. But to tell you guys how I got into tech, I got into tech completely on accident. Like, it wasn't even a thought. I've always been somebody who understood how to fix things. Like, technology was just like a skill that I had that I didn't really pay attention to. My actual, like, formal education is actually in sports medicine. Like, I was going to be an athletic trainer. I don't know if anybody knows what that is, but, like, if you watch football games and, like, basketball games, the guy with the fanny pack that runs out when people get hurt, like, I fell in love with that in high school, and I did it all the way up through college. That will always be my first love. But in the midst of that, I basically implemented technologies in every workspace that I was in. So whether it was reorganizing my training rooms, filing and tracking system for people who came in, it was like paper and like in files that weren't really files. It was just like stacked this way in the filing cabinet. I digitized that just because, like, I like to say that I'm a fundamentally lazy person, because I don't like doing things more, and I don't like doing things the hard way. So if I can put in the effort to make my life easier tomorrow, I'll do that. And I feel like it's translated very well into my technical world, because it is. I'm in love with automation and business process, and that's what's helped me to be successful in work, is because I can come in and look at something and be like, okay, this is completely the wrong way to do something. So it's like, there's inefficiencies here, this is broken, it's like, this is too manual, which is what our goal is as software engineers, is to kind of make things easy, whether it's working with UX designers for like the actual look and feel of it, to make it easy and intuitive, or just, solving problems, which is basically what being a software engineer and being a developer in general kind of boils down to, is finding a problem and developing a solution. So with all of that, I basically became the CTO of a small company. There was only about 50 of us, but I was introduced to Salesforce, which I'm sure that you guys have heard of. It's a software as a service company, kind of huge. I don't work specifically for them, but I'm in their ecosystem because I work on the platform, and solve problems for my company. And how I was introduced to it was that the CEO of my company was acting as our administrator, and he basically gave everybody in the company administrator rights to the system. Yes, exactly that, Desmond, exactly that. And just didn't have time. So he wanted some kind of automation, and he was like, "You're new. You have time for this. Figure this out." So I figured it out. And then I brought it to him and I explained it to him, and he was like, "Awesome. Solve this problem." I was like, "Okay." It took a couple days, read about it, figured it out, brought it to him. He was like, "Awesome. Okay, this belongs to you now." And just gave me all of the technology for the entire company I was now responsible for. So whether it's software, email servers, the networking, hardwired phone systems, all of it was suddenly my responsibility. I was like, okay, so having to understand how all of those systems work together, whether it's we were a contact center, so the hardwired phone lines met with our system and how we track our emails and how we log our phone calls, and keeping track of our customer information. The company that I worked for was in health benefits. We managed health benefits. And we got this huge project, and we went from having everybody have administrator access to I have to now pick and choose what people are allowed to do now. And then I had to build out a complete automated HR hiring system. So from packaging the documentation, so somebody applies, we get their information. I have to build that integration from the external place that they're applying to, have it sent to our system. They get an automatic package of paperwork to fill out. We have to track when it gets signed, integrating DocuSign and background check screenings with a completely external service. Having to figure all of this out was the worst and best thing that ever happened to me. Because going through it, I definitely wanted to hide underneath my desk all the time. On top of, the normal, I have to reset my password, and I can't get in, and my computer's too slow, and I broke this, and the printer's broken. So, adventures. But 5 years later, I work for a multinational company, and I'm on a team of 2 managing 5,000 users and building automations almost every day and just solving business problems and building new things. And it keeps it interesting, but I also really love like my boring days where I just like reset people's passwords all day. So it's a spectrum, but it's definitely fulfilling, at least for me. I won't speak for everybody. I don't think I'm creative enough to like come up with the next Uber, but I might work for them. So that's where I'm at. But my main goal,
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but what do you mean by create the next Uber? Can you explain that a little bit?
Well, Uber in and of itself, when you boil it down, was a problem that needed to be solved. Having like the ride sharing and the cost of a vehicle, and like in LA, there's never any parking. Like you can't function without a car, but neither can anybody else. And if you're concerned with this, or whether it's drunk driving and all of that, it solves so many problems. But like there's a lot of times where you don't have a phone number for a cab. Before Uber, you had to know your town's cab phone number. Where now it's like wherever I am, I can hail a cab and they know where I am. Like, or you have the phone number and you're just like, okay, well, where are you? I have no fucking idea. It's 3 a.m. and I've lost a shoe. I can't find my friends. I don't know where I am. I just want to go home. So Uber solved that problem.
Right.
And it's about identifying a problem and identifying a way to solve it, a creative way to solve it that other people will appeal to, that will appeal to other people better.
Right.
So,
can you say that one more time, that last part? I like that. What did you say?
Like, it boils down to solving a problem that will appeal to other people. It's like you might solve the problem for yourself, but like, I'm not the only person with this problem. Like, I'm not the only person who loses my friends and says, fuck them, I'm going home. Like, I'm pretty sure everybody has had that experience of, my buddy left me and, I'm too drunk to drive, so I need a cab. But I don't have a cab phone number. And I've heard those stories are, you have to go to find a bar, you have to find somebody who can give you the number of the local taxi stand. And I really hate to kind of interfere with those jobs, but like there was also a problem where you couldn't get a cab in New York City. So it solves a lot of problems, but it's actually a really, really simple solution of instead of having the dispatcher, your dispatcher is your cell phone, and you cut yourself a 10% commission on every ride, and now they're multimillionaires. Airbnb is the largest accommodation company in the world, and they don't own any hotels. They're bigger than Marriott and the Hyatt and everything else. They don't own anything. Solving a problem. I'm going to the city.
Yeah. I
want to go stay in Belize for a week. Like, there's no Hyatt in Belize, but someone owns a vacation home, and I only want to be there for a couple days, so I'll give them a couple $100. It gives everybody kind of autonomy over their own. It gives more choice, and as Americans, that's one thing that we've always loved is choice, is it not? It gives us more options, and that's something that everybody can appreciate. Please feel free to jump in, and
That was very insightful.
Say that again.
That was very insightful.
Yeah.
LaShana.
Yeah.
I understand your issues with working with people at a facility. One of my biggest issues when I did that for volunteer was replacing a mouse. It was the most ridiculous thing possible. Everybody for the carts would break the mouse. I'm like, keep the mouse on the cart. It's not that hard. And I'm not giving you a wireless mouse because the wireless mouse is going to go from cart to cart. You're going to want to know why it's not working because, it's a send and receive. Right. It's a send and receive. So if you leave laptop, cart 3 and go to cart 5, it's not going to work. But you don't seem to want to understand that. The passwords, the logins, the email addresses, the voice over IP, it's like, stop using this to shop. Everything that you're doing is now our information. Like, how do you not understand that? Or do not connect your phone to the computer because you think it's going to charge it. It's trickle charging on top. It becomes a hard drive where data can be shared. And when Department of Health comes in, they see that, we're going to get cited. Don't do that.
Yes, all the joys of being a system admin.
What?
We see each other.
I had to drive from Long Island, right, from Nassau County to Bedford-Stuyvesant to take a piece of paper out of a printer.
Oh!
When the printer tells you how to do it, but gotta do it.
Gotta make that work.
So I have a question. I have like some experience using SharePoint. SharePoint is different from Salesforce in a lot of different ways, but I particularly have gone into a couple of offices in Nassau County, and they'll have like stacks, like you said, up to past the person's head if they're sitting down, where they haven't automated these processes in order to make digital forms. Do you think, so one of the things that we spoke about last Friday was progressive web apps and the way that, progressive web apps might become more of a trend in the future. Do you think that progressive web apps and like digitizing forms and stuff like that will become a very, like something that needs to be deployed more often in the future?
Absolutely. One thing, the digital age isn't coming, it is here. So everybody who is clinging to their reams of paper is about to retire. Like we have to, like they don't realize it yet, but they're going to be, if they are not acted nicely, they will be squeezed out, because not only is it an environmental issue, but like we just don't have the capacity. It's like sending paper forms, all of it slows us down in so many different ways. Even like applying for a job, there are so many people who are vehemently against like applying through the online form. Like, no, I want an application. And it's like, you mean a piece of paper where you fill out the form?
and then you give it back.
And then you give it back, and then somebody else has to take it and put it into the system. It's like, you could do that yourself. So that's an extra step. That's a gap in efficiency that the industry as a whole is going to kind of push out. There is a huge push for efficiency. We have to get better, and we have to get better at a lot of things, and being less wasteful with our resources. And the largest resource not the largest, but the most important resource that we have is time. Time is a non-renewable resource. Once that minute is gone, you're never getting it back again. You're never getting it back again. So if it's about spending 2 hours transitioning these paper forms to digitize them so that they can be run through the system. It's like, either I'm going to make you do it, or I'm going to have to pay somebody, so I'm going to make you do it. I mean, but if you think about it, with the way that we live our lives in the digital atmosphere, most of the information they're going to have it anyway. Like, we're already talking about RFID chips and, you know, biometric integration, facial recognition that we already have now, like in our cell phones. So even with like all the extra components of that, the different, however you might feel about it, it's coming, where your all of your data, from your date of birth, social security number, blood type, how many kids you have, the boyfriend you had in 7th grade, all of that is going to be in your file, and it's gonna be attached to your fingerprint or your DNA, and so you won't have to apply for a job. You can submit for a job, and you give your bio ID.
Wait,
in a way, it's already like that.
I'm kind of like getting super freaked out. What do you mean that, like, they have all the information? I don't have Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat. I'm very much not into any of that stuff, but I love technology. So for me, I'm like, wait, what do you mean? Like, you know? So in the future, you're saying we're not going to, like, have to basically send in much information? They're kind of just going to know everything because of the prior things we filled out?
Yeah.
How do they find that out, though? And then I have another question. What is the Biometry? What did you say before? You said Biometry integration?
Yeah. So they're actually working on it, and they have. I saw a short online. If I can find it, I'll send it over to Lori so she can share it with you. But biometric integrations are just like what was the new movie? The newer Total Recall, where they had the phone. He had the phone in his hand.
I know what you're talking about.
The little tiny, and it's in his hand. So, yeah, that was a sci-fi idea, but they're actually building it. They're actually trying to figure out how to make it work. Just like they are building prosthetics for wounded veterans and just amputees to be able to control their limbs with brain implants. So just like when you think, and I can think and close my hand, as an amputee, like, my actual physical arm is gone, but the robotic arm that I have, we're talking about Iron Man here right now, I'm going to have an implant in my brain, and now all of a sudden it's going to control my prosthetic like it was my real hand.
Mm-hmm.
All of those technologies are being worked on right now.
And that's called what? You said Biometry what?
Biometric integration.
What is it called again? Maybe someone could, like, type it in the chat.
Biometrics.
What?
Biometrics.
Biometrics. Thank you. I'm gonna research that. Sounds very interesting.
Oh, no.
Actually,
go ahead.
No, continue what you were saying. This is a different. So I was actually I went to a what do you call it, design lab in LaGuardia College a couple of months ago, and they had 2 presentations for 2 companies. One was a company that's actually becoming more popular now, and it's about, like, percussion, like integrating percussion and music making. And the other one, it was really interesting, and they're catching on a little bit. But the other company was kind of like a biometric integration sort of thing. They created a pressure sensor inside the soles of people's shoes, so insertable, like a Dr. Scholl's type thing, but it's integrated to find out how much blood flow is going to the foot, because that's usually the first thing that gets amputated when someone has diabetic issues. So it was so it's just something, I don't know if they probably raised a lot of money about it, but it's basically like a Bluetooth Dr. Scholl's insert for their foot, so that, you know, and that's just one of the solutions that I think is really helping out.
A Bluetooth Dr. Scholl's?
Yeah.
That just sounds so wicked. Like, what does that even do, though?
It's a health scanner. It's just like, you know, the Apple Watch, where it monitors your heart rate and how much you exercise and your motions, all of that.
There's an apparatus that'll go into your sneaker that'll connect to your mobile device, whatever, and tell you about the steps that you've taken. That Nike has it.
It's awesome. I didn't know that Dr. Scholl's was creating something like that, though.
It wasn't Dr. Scholl's, but it's.
Okay. I was like, I've never heard of that before.
But it was a good analogy. But yeah, that's what it is.
I took it way too literal. I'm sorry.
So yeah.
Can you please explain this women's in technology thing? Is there like a shortage in women? I know that it's probably dominated by men, right?
Oh yes. The industry as of right now is overwhelmingly white and male. So the effort is
to reverse that role.
I'm sorry. Say that again.
To reverse that role.
Not even to reverse it. Just like everything else that's going into the world, it's more equality. Like if a room has 10 people in it, I would really appreciate it if, you know, there were like 5 women and at least 4 black people. You know?
To try to even out the scores.
Yeah. And it's
make it even. I understand.
Yeah, just equality and inclusion. So everybody has a voice. There's one problem that was really scary for me that I was reading about recently was facial recognition and AI. All of the advancements that's going on there, especially with like machine learning, because machine learning is the machine is taught by its creator, right? A problem with that is that just like children, your child will absorb your biases. So like Watson, when it was created, like IBM's Watson, supercomputer Watson, its first iteration was extremely racist because there was nobody of color working on the project at all.
I understand what you mean. Like, there's a lot of white males and white females in it, and they do have great ideas and great theories, but there might be that one person of ethnicity or from a different race that might have a stupendous or big idea that we're never getting out on a platform because there are not many of us that are in the domain doing it.
And or even just to add to it, to even just, you know, think about a certain way or a certain thing, like facial recognition. There are certain one of the things with facial recognition is that it fails to recognize black people because of the width of our lips. It said that like the person wasn't there because it didn't understand that the person's lips were bigger than average, like because I guess all the models that they used were white people.
Didn't facial recognition come out in the 70s?
It started, but it's getting more advanced. Just like all the software that the depth perception and everything else, all of that technology is advancing. But like if your team is full of 10 white people and you're testing it on each other, nobody's got juicy lips. So they're not, it's not that the system,
understandable, yes.
It has a very small sampling, so it's not going to understand that, like, or understand, like, Spencer's beard, right? It'll be completely confused by Spencer's beard.
If nobody coded that in the program.
Because nobody thought to think about, oh, maybe somebody will have a beard, or maybe they'll have locks, or maybe their hair is a fro. Like, it's not something that is thought about.
We just need more diversity within the technology.
Exactly.
Yeah, I can share an example of that from a female, not having enough females, and just in general. It's like, think about even not just technology, but in engineering. When you go into a bathroom, into a public facility, it's most likely a woman's bathroom is designed by a man. And so when you think about that bathroom and how it's designed, what a woman would design in that bathroom is very different from what a man would design in the bathroom. And so, those are the simple things. So, and so if we think about having more female, so you guys know the big, who do you think buys the most products, and who's the biggest consumer of products out there on the market today?
Decision makers.
Yeah, real decision makers of who decide what gets spent in a household.
Females.
The females, right. But so therefore, when we think about products being designed and created and having a woman's input, today that's not the case. It's mostly designed by men. Yeah.
I have a question. So, I mean, I'm looking on the IBM website because I was kind of interested on what you brought up with AI, and how there's like a talent gap for that. What is AI, and like why is there such a demand for that like role?
AI is short for artificial intelligence, and it's basically training a machine. I'm sure you knew that, but it's basically training a machine.
I didn't know that.
It's AI is basically training a machine to make the judgment calls that a human would. It's like taking in all the different factors of a situation and being able to process that and make a decision. But it's a machine. It's a machine that's doing this for us rather than us. Being able to analyze multiple situations in a very short time span, where a human is going to take a while to think about something and iterate ideas. An AI can go through all the different possibilities in a matter of seconds, where a human, it might take a whole day to really weigh and have all your personal biases and global biases. A machine's going to take the facts and make a decision. And
it's like iRobot.
Yes, very much like iRobot.
Right, I love that movie.
I know what AI means, but every time I hear it, I think about Allen Iverson and his sneakers. It was called AIs. For real, I know what that means, but I just always think about the Allen Iverson sneakers.
They're answering the question.
I'm a big basketball head.
Does anybody see the negativity of AI prosthetics and all the robot aspect of it?
Oh, now we're going down the Black Mirror rabbit hole.
I'm sorry, I cut you off. You were about to say something else, though.
Can build that person. Millennium Man. Remember that.
Remember it, yes. There's definitely space for the Black Mirror rabbit hole of the lack of privacy and all kinds of biases that can and the dark side of technology.
Like the Matrix.
Yes, definitely like the Matrix. I'm a big fan of sci-fi. It's part of, I guess it's part of it's inherent in being a tech nerd. I don't know. But I'm also musical theater, so whatever. But shows like Altered Carbon and right?
Yep. What's the next season?
The third season?
I haven't seen it. I need the next season.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
But
I don't really. I don't really remember your name, but while you're talking about the artificial intelligence, I was thinking about this a lot because I was telling myself, I thought that I speak with my family about it too, because what happened with COVID-19, it makes me think about a lot of things. I was imagine there's another virus coming and we can't even go outside going to go to the groceries. What are we going to do? So I think we might, it's something that, we should really think about, because if something like that happen, we're going to need this artificial intelligence a lot to help us go through it. Because if you can't go to the doctor, maybe you can, drones aren't going to be able to do that for us.
But we have telemedicine now.
Exactly. So it's something to think about. It's very important, I think, because COVID-19 is not going to be the last pandemic that we're gonna have. So we should be prepared at some point, I think. And this is very, very important. Yeah, that's what I wanted to say. Yeah.
No, you're absolutely right. I 100% agree with you.
We're gonna let the robots take over. We're gonna have a dude in a coat talk about the red or the blue pill.
Listen. I mean, there's nothing in the world is perfect. I mean, it might have its advantages and disadvantages, but at this point, I think we might have more. I think we kind of um deal with it when it comes, So I think we better have it than not having it. Yeah. So
the robots have already taken over. You ask your phone about questions versus looking it up for yourself. If you can't tell me how many times you've asked Siri, Google Assistant, how to do A, B, and C, then you don't understand that they've already taken over. That's your life. It's done. The average person who uses that device can't change the tire.
What do you mean you're done? You're freaking me out, man. What are you talking about? I'm sitting here and adrenaline's like racing in my chest. I'm like, wait, what do you mean if I talk to Siri?
I feel like, Kaya, you're gonna be like a data privacy like CEO. I feel like you're gonna just rock the world with like, no, you can't have any of my data, and you're gonna be the next.
Right? Like, no, like you can't have this information. Like,
basically.
Kaya, you should watch Westworld.
Watch what?
Westworld.
What is it?
Westworld.
Westworld?
Yeah, that's definitely a sci-fi show, and it's all about data privacy.
A whole lot of nudity in that show.
No soup for you.
So much nudity in that show.
No soup
for little kid.
But yeah, those.
So you guys have any other questions for LaShana?
Hi, LaShana. How long have you been doing this for?
I have been. Oh wow, hold on. I love how I had to think about that for a second.
It's okay.
I've been working with Salesforce for 7 years, and I've been a front-end developer for 4.
Wow.
So, yeah.
So almost 15 years in the game.
Oh no, like same overlap. So I started with Salesforce, and then 3 years into Salesforce, I started front end because I was like, I need more skills. That was just on a personal level. I wanted to be able to do more things. Salesforce is awesome. I love the system. I love the community. I love the entire ecosystem of opportunities that Salesforce has created, but it's kind of one-dimensional. So becoming a developer and having the skills to, JavaScript and React and Vue and like C++ and Python, which drives me insane.
Wait, which one drives you insane?
Python.
Okay, why?
It's because it's just hard. Like, I don't know. Because I learned like JavaScript first, like Java. I learned Java and JavaScript first. So it's kind of, it's the syntax makes sense to me. And then Python is just like, yeah, we don't have syntax. You just do whatever you want. And that makes my brain hurt.
Gotcha.
I don't know. It might be an unpopular opinion, but
that makes sense.
I struggle with Python, so I gave that up. I have plenty of Python guru developer friends who, if I have a Python project, like, hey, you want to work on this project for me? Like, I'll pay
you to do this. Yeah, right?
that's another skill, is delegation. It's like I'm not gonna do that. You want to partner? Do that.
Hey, so LaShana, I have a question. This is regarding your career steps moving forward. So you said that you've started with SharePoint, Salesforce. Sorry, I get those two mixed up a lot.
No worries.
Started with Salesforce, and then you dabbled in front end development using C++ and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So with that being the case, what types of database software did you use, or what is your next thing that you're looking forward in the future to conquering?
Oh, next on my list.
The reason why I asked is because, you know, like I figured we're going to be using PostgreSQL soon to like do database stuff and relational state databases. I was reading about it in the books that we were assigned. It's like something that's really used a lot in the industry for analyst positions and stuff like that.
For me, I have not been blessed enough to work directly in database stuff, like relational databases. I understand it from like a team perspective, where like I know the language that's being spoken, but it's not. I haven't had the opportunity to flex my muscles personally with it as much. But it is something that I am interested in learning. So I guess I'm kind of on the same footing as you guys with that. For me, and my experience particularly, I've kind of focused, kind of becoming like almost like expert on my one little thing. It's like, because that's what works for my team. And I've done a lot of like projects and work and stuff like that without
back-end work.
Yeah, without back-end work, because again, in my like everyday job, I'm either like customer facing, which are like my internal users, or I am in like the UI kind of stuff. So that's where most of my experience is. Database work, I guess, would be my next step in like, you know, getting more into back end. So that's a goal for me, to kind of be full stack. But that's not where I'm at right now. I'm more of like, you know, the front end and making it pretty and making it easy to use and understand and you know, intuitive for other people.
Okay.
You're really humble. You're very humble. You said little, and you're really the boss. It's true.
Yeah, your LinkedIn says like 3 times director. I was like, holy.
Well, 3 times certified director, business owner. Yeah, I guess I got a lot of stuff going on. It's just like, for me, I've never been somebody who's like, I'm who I am. I was like, do you know who I am? I'm like what's the point? Stuff like this is what makes me happy, is like having, like, bringing people along. Like, let's kick this door in together and then show them who's boss, you know? Like, that's what makes me happy, is to solve problems for people, to be a solution person. Like, I want to be a solution architect. I want to be able to build something from start to finish. And like, you guys are going to have more than enough skills to do that. So I'm cheering you guys on. Really.
Thank you.
I've learned a lot from you today, and I'm happy I'm here.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're quite welcome.
Thank you so much. That was nice.
Awesome.
Right.
Yeah, I really enjoyed hearing what you had to say.
I enjoyed telling my story. Thank you guys so much for having me. You guys inspire me. I'm gonna have to go and do relational database work because I can't. You're just showing me up and making me feel bad. Now I have to go get a new skill.
Thank you for coming last minute.
Yeah, no, we really appreciate you stepping in last minute to do this for us. It was really, really great. And it's good to, you know, we've had such a diverse number of speakers, so it's great to bring and show them the different levels in their careers, different types of roles. You know, the whole point of this program, it's not necessarily that they're going to all be front-end, back-end web developers. It's that they're going to get into some entry-level job, and they're going to use these skills that they've learned here to take them to whatever journey they decide. And the more we can expose them to these different opportunities, the better. And I love that I didn't realize you had a Salesforce background. Just for awareness, they are going to be learning how to actually write to a Salesforce system, and it's part of this class. So they will be learning that. Our application and our systems are all Salesforce. We have a huge Salesforce project that we're doing right now with a bunch of volunteers. And it's everything we do in our organization is all optimized and organized in Salesforce. So when they apply for the program, for the scholarships, that goes into Salesforce. Their quizzes, their assessments that they're doing, everything goes into Salesforce. So our program managers can just basically go into Salesforce and see every aspect of every student who's participating in the programs.
Oh, that's awesome. So yeah, I told you, Salesforce is kind of awesome, guys.
It is. And we're using Power. I'm sure you've ever used
Power
the
BI.
Power Automate.
Okay.
So you can actually take a Microsoft form, like the form you filled out today for the registration, that can go right into Salesforce directly.
Oh yeah, there's plenty of forms. Yeah, there's all kinds of stuff. And
yes, we basically just took all of our assessment forms, all their self-assessment and the teacher assessment forms, and they automatically go into Salesforce through Power Automate.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so it's no code. It's all just mapping the fields.
Declarative and mapping. Yep. So
yeah,
you don't have to write code all day, which is nice.
Yeah. But the skills that we're teaching them allow them to think about those problems and think about how they might solve them, and then whether they need to use code or not, they'll be able to solve the problems.
Yeah.
Yeah. So very cool. So any last minute questions here before we wrap up for the day and say thank you?
I tried to connect with you on LinkedIn already.
Good. Yeah. So that's part of their homework assignment every time. Just so you know, LaShana, is that they're gonna do an introduction to you and let them know they met you here, and they're gonna ask to connect to you. They're working on building their communication skills to connect with people on LinkedIn, to build their networks, so that when they get ready to go out and start applying for jobs, they'll have this great connections from all the speakers.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm more than happy. And if you guys, beyond your introductions, if you guys want to actually talk to me and ask me questions, connect, coffee, all of that, I'm super excited to help all of you.
I definitely will if I need to.
And I'm on this now, so just we'll Zoom. It's quarantine life of Zoom.
Yeah, and I think from a women's organization, this is great for all, for Deborah and Nat and Shia or Kaya, is to really join the Women in Technology from Long Island group. It's a great group.
Yeah, I did that already. I just signed up.
Cool, excellent.
And just so you know, guys, you guys are not excluded. You guys can join. We're very inclusive. So don't take it personal. We're just, most of us are girls, but you guys are more than welcome. I will let you guys know that we do a Coffee Friday. I don't know when you guys start, but we do a virtual Coffee Friday every Friday morning from 9 to 10, and it's an open discussion about technology. So if you guys want to join, or if you can and have the time, we're more than happy to help you have you.
The page is on LinkedIn, or is it on your website? Your page, sorry, because I'm looking at something, but I can't find it.
It's definitely on our, the Long Island Women in Tech website itself. You can register, or you can join us through Meetup. But either way, you're more than welcome to join us. If it's not, I'll send you a direct link through LinkedIn after you connect to me.
Thank you.
Okay.
Right.
Well, good luck with everything. I really hope to hear from all of you, and wish you all the best. Thank you so much for having me.
No, thank you for joining us. We really appreciate it. We're gonna we'll do a thank you via LinkedIn, and we'll post a little snippet from this session with you out there. Okay.
Thank you so much. Have a great rest of your day.
Have a great day.
Thank you so much.
Thanks,
Bye.
LaShana.
Bye.
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 See you. Bye.
Bye.
You're gonna let me leave.